I don't understand why you both are behind me with this, knowing that I won't accept this. Because we want to see you happy and married, and we want to see Joni have a mother. So you want me to marry a woman to make my life better? What else? Every parent wants their child and family happy. Exactly. Every parents want that. And why do you think that a parent would agree to make their daughter marry a single father? His parents took in deep breaths. They had lost their daughter-in-law 3 years ago. She had left her and Jungkook's son, Jeon. He was now 3 years old. Jungkook's parents wanted to see Jungkook happy with a wife and a Jeoni with a mother. But no matter how many times they tried to convince Jungkook, he didn't budge. He argued that he can take care of him and his son himself. We have taken that concern of yours into consideration and found the best partner for you. Jungkook's head shot up hearing this. In these 3 years, he had never met a woman who could take care of his son like her own and live a life as a second wife. His eyebrows scratched, listening to his parents' claim. Did the woman agree to this? She knows about me, right? Of course. She just went through a divorce recently, so her parents are trying to get her married too. And what about her previous family? She has a 2-year-old son. Her husband and she was legally separated as he was not ready to take the responsibility. I see. He simply replied, "Are you agreeing to meet her? Can I call them and fix the date for you?" Jungkook walked out of the room in dilemma. With his hands locked behind him, he climbed the stairs to see his only son. He peeped through the door to the playroom without disturbing the child who was in his own world. Jeoni was playing with his toys alone. Jungkook's eyes filled with tears watching his baby looking so alone. How he wished his wife was alive, but things couldn't go back. At night, Jungkook was in thoughts. He was staring intently at the ceiling. She has a 2-year-old son. He remembered the words of his parents. If he was to marry the woman they were talking about, Jeoni could have a mother and a sibling. The woman could have a man to provide her with financial stability, and her child can call him father. Was it a good deal? He didn't care if she didn't like him as a husband, or if he couldn't get along with her. But what if she was a selfish woman? What if she mistreats Jeoni? Jungkook was always afraid of this aspect. He didn't want to marry a woman and make Jeoni believe that she is his mom and later see him get ill-treated by her. He looked to his sides to see his son sleeping, squishing his chubby cheeks on his left arm. Jungkook carefully changed his son's position, wrapping him in his tiny blanket. At Wine's house. "This is my last request, honey. They are coming here today. Please, at least come in front of them." "I won't. I don't want to get married again to some man. I don't want to carry their burdens and help them make their life just to be dumped again. He is not like what you think. You said the same about Dylan. What happened then?" Dylan was Wine's first husband, who left her after she got pregnant with Yoonji. He didn't want to take the responsibility. Wyan moved into her parents' place and Dylan gave her divorce notice. "Fine, just meet this guy once. And if you don't like him, I won't force you again." She walked out of Wyan's room, leaving her alone. Wyan had hardly stepped out of her room or house after her messy divorce. She would just take care of her son and limit herself within the 4 walls. A few hours later, Jungkook and his family arrived at Wyan's house. Wyan reluctantly sat in front of the family who came to meet her. She looked at the people who were happily smiling and talking about things. While on one of the seats was the guy who her parents wanted her to marry. He had a baby in his lap who was sucking onto a toy and playing with it. It must be his son, she thought to herself. Wyan looked at Jungkook, whose eyes hadn't met with hers. He was busy with his son. She wondered if he could ever be good to her son. This man had his own son, so why would he care about hers? "Jungkook?" she called him, to which he lifted his face to meet her eyes. "Why don't you and Wyan take Jeoni to meet Yoonji? He must be playing alone in his room." Wayan got up from her seat and so did Jungkook with Joni in his arms. She walked ahead, showing him the way to Yoonji's room. They both quietly entered the room to see a tired Yoonji sleeping on the carpeted floor with his toys. Jungkook's mind soon flashed the image of Joni, who would play alone and sleep tiredly. He felt bad for this child too. Jungkook slowly knelt down and placed Joni on the floor. The baby sat on the floor looking here and there, and as soon as sleeping Yoonji came into Joni's radar, he quickly walked towards the younger one. Jungkook and Wayan were looking at the two kids. Joni went near Yoonji and sat next to him. The 3-year-old kept observing Yoonji intently without disturbing the tired baby. Both Jungkook and Wayan felt butterflies in their heart while watching the two together. Jungkook's head turned towards Wayan, who was blankly looking at the kids. "Did you agree to this marriage?" "I didn't, and I don't want to get married now." "Oh," he simply said as a sudden wave of disappointment went across him. Though he did not come here ready to marry anyone, his heart fluttered at the thought of having another child. "Did you agree to this?" "I didn't agree, but to be honest with you, I do want to feel like having a complete family again." "That is never possible." She spoke as Jungkook curiously looked at her, wanting an explanation. "A complete family can be never made out of a broke one. Marrying another woman or a man will never make it complete. A prosthetic will always be prosthetic," she harshly spoke. Jungkook kind of agreed with her statement, and it was also one of the reasons why he never wanted to get married again. He thought that a stepmother or stepfather could never replace the love of a biological parent. "You are right, Wayan, but don't you think that it can be changed?" "Changed? How? Can you accept my son as yours and treat him without discrimination?" "Even if we try, does it change the fact that my son is not yours and yours is not mine?" Jungkook hung his head down. She was right. There was no deliberate efforts. The relationship would only be strained throughout the life, and ultimately the kids would have to suffer. Wayan and Jungkook both agreed between themselves not to get married that day. But despite their refusals, they were married to each other due to the pressure they were going through from different family members. It was not a pleasant experience for both of them to be together after deciding not to come into a union. After the wedding, Wayan entered the shared bedroom without any interest to see her second husband. But what she saw when she got in surprised her. Jungkook had tucked in both Joni and Yoonji on the large shared bed next to him. He had left the right side of the bed for Wayan. He was looking at Yoonji as if studying his features. The moment Jungkook noticed her presence, he sat up straight. Wayan shrugged it off and walked to her side of the bed. Taking a pillow, she placed it next to Joni, who was sleeping closer to the edge of the bed. With another pillow and bedsheet, she decided to go towards the sofa, which was in the room. "Where are you going?" "Jungkook, I didn't marry you because I wanted to. I did it so that Yoonji can have a father and Joni can have a mother. So there's no need to act like husband and wife when they are not a pair." Jungkook sighed, getting up from the bed and walked to her. "Look, Wayan, we both married each other because of circumstances, but now that we are here, I really want to work this out. We can try to tolerate each other for our kids, can we?" Wayan understood his point of view. She herself wanted her child to be treated properly by Jungkook, and she realized how Jungkook would have the same worry about his son. If they didn't consciously decide to learn to set aside their differences and treat the kids alike, the life would be messy. She nodded at Jungkook's statement in agreement. Time moved on, and both Jungkook and Wayan tried their best to play their parts as perfectly as possible. They didn't get along most of the time, but they tried their best in front of the kids. Both Joni and Yoonji bonded well. Joni started calling Wayan mom, and Yoonji started calling Jungkook dad. 1 year later, Jungkook was in the office when he got a call from the helper at home. He quickly received the phone call just to know that Wayan and the kids were in the hospital. Jungkook wasted no time and drove to the said hospital. He was directed to the room where his family was, and when he got closer to the door, he heard Wyan's voice scolding. You both don't listen to me at all. Now look what happened to Joni. No more ice cream for the two of you from now on. He could hear Yoonji crying from the room. Jungkook opened the door, getting inside. Wyan and the kids looked at their father, who had ran all the way here. Watching Jungkook walk into the room scared Wyan a little bit. She was very sure that Jungkook was going to scold her for not taking care of his son. What happened, Wyan? He asked her. She was surprised how he was worried as a father but was not shouting at her. They ate ice cream a little too much and Johnny vomited. She trailed off, looking down. She was waiting for Jungkook to get angry at her. What did the doctors say? He asked as he bent down to check Johnny's temperature. They said that there's nothing to worry about and it was just a gag reflex. Jungkook picked a crying Yoonji, placing him on his lap, and sat next to Johnny. Why did you eat so much ice cream? Did Amma tell you not to eat too much? Johnny nodded to his question. Then you should have listened to Amma, right? He asked, to which Johnny nodded again. Wyan felt some kind of way when Jungkook referred her as Johnny's mother. Soon, Johnny was discharged from the hospital. Wyan realized during this time that Jungkook really didn't discriminate their kids. This eased her heart a lot, slowly helping her to create feeling for Jungkook as a husband. And in the 1 year of being together, Jungkook was very much assured that Wyan is not a woman who is going to become that evil stepmother. He was glad that he found the best woman for his family, and now he wanted to call her his, more than the legal relation they had. He had now decided to confess to Wyan. After the kids were fast asleep, he waited for Wyan to come into the bedroom, and soon Wyan placed herself on the other side of the bed. Wyan, thank you, he said out of nowhere, grabbing Wyan's attention, who looked at him confused, not knowing why he was thanking her. Thank you for being the best mother of our kids. He smiled, making Wyan blush at his compliments. I know we don't talk much or spend time together, but I want to let you know that I have started to love you, not just as our kid's mother, but as my wife. Wyan smiled back at him. And thank you, Jungkook, for being the best father and husband. Thank you for always making me feel necessary part of this family. And thank you for always referring to Johnny and Yoonji as our kids. And thank you for making me believe that a family was possible even after what we both went through. They both looked each other in their eyes. It was a different feeling after all. Falling in love again, not just as a man and a woman, but also as parents of each other's kids. I love you and our kids. He moved forward to kiss Wyan. But soon his movements were stopped when Johnny and Yoonji got up from their place and hugged the two of them. We love you too, Mom and Dad,